Welcome back guys to another video, and in this video I thought I'd do something a little bit different, have a little bit of fun with it, because I've always wanted to talk about this topic but never had the time to really sit down and really listen to my own thoughts and think about what I wanted to say about this in general. And that is the fact AI's impact on the property market. And I don't think many people are actually actively talking about what is happening with AI and AI's impact on the property market. And so I wanted to cover it in this video, and it's going to be more of a podcast style video, guys. So put it in the background, listen to it while you work and understand what I'm trying to say. Let me know in the comments whether you agree, disagree, or you have your own point of view. Please remember, I'm just one guy with an opinion on the internet. You don't need to listen to me. You can if you want to. And I want to start off by saying that I really do believe that AI is going to cause stagnation in income growth in certain parts of the economy. And usually when income growth slows, property prices follow because there's an affordability ceiling, especially in those more premium blue chip markets right across Sydney and Melbourne. And I don't think it's that overly complicated, especially when you see what AI impacts specifically. And here's the thing though, not every suburb and not every market is equally exposed to that risk, and I think investors who figure that out early are going to make more money over the next decade, and the ones who don't are going to wonder why their property went nowhere for 15 years or so. And I do think a lot of owner occupiers are going to be suffering because of this as well, and I'm going to share my thesis on this as well. So let's start with what we actually know about AI and jobs, right? There's been a lot of noise about this. Some people think AI is going to take everyone's job, others say it's just another tool like the internet and we will learn to adapt. The truth is probably it's somewhere in the middle, but I think property investors are asking the wrong question. The question isn't will AI take our jobs? The real question is whose jobs and where are those people living? Because property prices in any given suburb are basically a function of one thing over the long run: income, affordability. It's essentially what are the people who live there earning? What are the people who want to live there earning? And that's it. Population growth matters, supply matters, but income is generally the engine. If someone can't afford to live there, then they won't live there and they'll find somewhere else that is more affordable to live. And here's where AI gets really interesting from a property perspective, right? I think it's pretty obvious to see that the AI is not coming for the tradie. It's not replacing the sparky. It's not going to replace the plumber, not the concreter, not the nurse on the floor who wipes your poo, right? It's not replacing the aged care worker. It's not replacing the person who actually has to show up somewhere and use their two bare hands on their physical presence to do a job. What AI is coming for, and quite aggressively, is the white collar knowledge worker. For those of you who don't know, I work in the white collar corporate world, and I've seen AI firsthand in many different sectors, from accounting to basic lawyer, document review work, junior analysts building spreadsheet, the graduate accountant doing compliance work, even the mid-level marketing manager writing simple briefs and reports to report to senior managers, and so on. And these people are sitting in expensive capital cities, whether they are renting or whether they are owner occupiers in the likes of Schofields, Kellyville, inner city Strathfield, North Shore areas, South and Wollongong even. And these people are used to having reliable income growth and steady career progression, from a low-level analyst to a manager to a senior manager to director, partner, etc. in some form of that fashion, or rather, depending on your company, tech company, etc. But I think that pipeline is about to get much more complicated, especially as AI continues to progress at the rate that it's progressing at. There will be an exponential change over the next 5 to 10 years. And I do believe there will be an income growth slowdown. Now, I'm not saying that these people are going to lose their jobs overnight, right? That's not what I'm trying to say. The thesis is simpler. It's more around income growth and income stagnation. Property prices in inner suburbs of Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, they're priced on the expectations that professionals keep on earning more. $90,000 grad salary today becomes $200K, manager, senior manager, director in 10 years time or so. And that's the ladder. And buyers compete on that assumption, right? Usually when people can borrow more money because their income grows, they tend to buy in nicer places. But what happens when AI starts compressing that ladder? What happens when firms realize they don't need 2 senior lawyers? What happens when firms realize they only need 2 senior lawyers instead of 10 because a junior work is automated? What happens when a team of 5 analysts gets replaced by a team of 2 with better tools? The people at the top might be fine, but the bottom of the pyramid, the people on the way up, the graduates, the consultants, the analysts, the junior accountants, they're going to find the path much narrower. And I think that puts real pressure on income growth in professional corridors over the next 10 to 20 years. Not a crash, not overnight change, but a slow grinding stagnation that makes it hard, really hard for those suburbs to run the numbers they used to. In fact, even without income growth and wage growth being alright, you can already see that in some of inner city suburbs, some outer Sydney suburbs, there is real price stagnation at the moment, and that is purely from an affordability perspective. And you see that owner occupiers are genuinely capped around the $1.4, $1.2 million mark, and you don't see property prices exponentially growing like you do see in regional markets. So you have to ask yourself, where does this really leave investors? And this is where I think the opportunity is. Regional markets, and I mean proper regional markets, not the suburb outer fringes of Tarneet and Schofields and Box Hill. I'm talking about proper regional markets: Albury-Wodonga, Bendigo, Shepparton, Bundaberg, Cairns, Rockhampton, right? These are proper regional markets, and they don't have the level of professional workers that capital cities do. They have economic diversity that is genuinely AI resistant, right? Think about the industries that drive these local regional economies: agriculture, logistics, healthcare, aged care, retail trades, government services, tourism, mining, agriculture, and more. These sectors is where physical presence actually matters. You need a person in the workplace actually working, where automation is genuinely hard or genuinely slow, right? The nurse in Tamworth isn't going to get replaced by a chatbot. The machine operator in Pilbara isn't going to get automated by Copilot. The teacher's aide in Toowoomba, the aged care worker in Bendigo, they're not going to get replaced by Claude, are they? These jobs require showing up. They require human judgment in physical spaces. AI may assist, but their replacement is very, very far off. In fact, AI itself, if you asked it, which jobs will it replace? It's white-collar occupation, entry-level jobs. What that means for property investors is that the income base in those communities becomes increasingly more stable, and in some cases more resilient than it looks from the outside. And because of this, the median property price in most of these markets is well below what it costs to buy in Sydney and Melbourne, and you have a much better entry price point plus yield relative to income that supports it, right? Obviously there is a counter argument to this, and I want to be fair to it, is that regional markets have their own risks. They can be volatile. They also have smaller industry base, and if something were to happen to these small towns or single industry locations, well, then they can be a severe impact on property prices. Population growth can be slower, vacancy rates can be harder to manage, etc. How we're really focusing on the impacts of AI in this video, right? And it isn't a simple call, but when I weigh up slow income growth in a $1.2 million suburb versus stable income base in $600,000 market with genuine demand drivers like a new hospital, education, etc., the risk-adjusted case for regional markets is really, really attractive right now, especially in this ever-changing AI environment. So let me give you my 10 to 20 year view on this, because I think time frames matter. Now, I could be wildly off by this, so please don't hold me in contempt for it. In the next 10 years, I think we're going to see the early effects of AI on professional income growth. It's going to be subtle at first, but I think it will be apparent. Wage growth in knowledge sectors will start lagging. Career progression will take longer. Young professionals will find it harder to justify paying $1.5 million for a 2-bedroom apartment in Newtown or in the North Shore, when the income trajectory that made that purchase make sense is no longer as reliable. Junior analysts, young corporate workers, they will struggle as AI continues to outpace them and their knowledge. Now, that doesn't mean prices crash. It means they stagnate in real terms. Inflation does some work, but genuine capital growth becomes much harder to find in those high price point markets. Meanwhile, regional areas that have steady population inflow, housing is affordable, lifestyle is genuine, essential services are growing, and there's industry money being spent there, these markets will continue moving, not explosively like we've seen in Queensland over the past 5 years, but steadily and slowly. And in 20 years, I think the gap between the AI-exposed professional corridor and AI-resistant regional markets will look very different to how most people imagine it today. Now, what really gets me is that the people who are going to get caught out are the people who think the last 20 years is the perfect guide to the next 20. They look at Sydney, they look at the track record, and they think, well, it'll always recover. It always outperforms. And historically, that is somewhat true. Once a market doesn't perform for a significant period of time, it undergoes a major boom. But the ultimate point of that, it's always going to come back down to income and affordability. How affordable are these locations? Do income suffice it? Is there room for it to grow? And that will be the determining factor. So what does this mean for you as an investor? Well, if you've been following my YouTube channel, not much. You would have already been investing in regional areas, right? But let's talk about it realistically, right? A few things. First, I look hard at who's actually employed in the suburb that I'm buying into. What is the occupational breakdown? Is this suburb full of professionals who depend on knowledge work and career progression? Or is it a community where employment base is trades, healthcare, logistics, services, etc.? Second, I look at the price to income ratios with fresh eyes. Affordability. A high income suburb that's priced on the expectation of continued income growth is somewhat more riskier in today's environment. A moderate income regional market that's priced conservatively might actually have more upside than you would think. And third, I'll think about how AI genuinely cannot replace in the medium term human care, physical presence, the sparky, the plumber, the tradie. And I look for those suburbs where those things are the backbone of the economy, the agriculture, the logistics, the transportation, the retail trade. This is why I keep backing regional markets, and I think AI continues to fuel that narrative as well, to be honest. And if anything does change, I will always voice my opinion on this channel. And look, I could be wrong on parts of this. Nobody knows exactly how fast AI will move, how fast the labor market adapts. But if it's anything what I've seen over the past 3 years alone, AI is pretty good. AI is pretty smart. AI will replace jobs. And look, my job as a property investor isn't to be right about everything. It's about to manage risk. And the risk I'm trying to manage is buying into markets that are more exposed to income stagnation than most people realize. And I think regional markets will continue to perform. So if you're buying there, I think you're fine. If you're not buying there and you're focusing purely on capital city apartments, well, then you may be in for a rude surprise in a couple of years' time. But honestly, I am really looking forward to seeing how all this plays out. I think AI is a huge part of our life going forward. I think AI has a huge impact on the property market, and I do think AI has a huge impact in everyone's everyday lives. I think the people who will genuinely succeed are the ones who will be able to think creatively and who will take the forefront initiative of implementing AI into their companies and their systems, and those are the ones that will succeed. I think AI is here for to stay, guys, and I think AI will change the property market. Till next time, thank you very much.